So, first off, let's say you have a character you've built in Blender. You'll probably want to import that Blender file. I've already imported this one, but just to show what you need to do, you bring it in, check your model and rig. If things look good, fine. You can bring this level in, like we did before. Now, I don't want all of these pieces, I just want this character model in the center of it. And this character, for some reason, is called Level Sketch 3. Can't remember why. Now, in order to parent him to this, I need to move him out of this big mess. If I try and move it, you'll face this error. You cannot move this, it is in a prefab. In order to move it, you need to unpack the prefab instance. And to do that, we just right-click on the prefab, in this case, start level 1. And unpack the prefab. Right-click, prefab, unpack. Now I'm able to select this Level Sketch 3 character and bring him out of this world. I will rename him Character Model. And I'll just delete all this stuff because I already have it in here. Don't need that extra camera and all these extra lights. And now I have my character on his own, ready to replace this little green bean. First, let's move this character to be in the right place. Change his orientation so he's facing the same way as my player character. Rotate. And then obviously he's a little bit bigger, so let's make him a lot smaller. Scale. So just moving, rotating, scaling our model to be in the right place. I'm basically just going to fit him inside the collider as best I can. Paying particular care that his feet level and the collider's level are the same, so the feet don't go through the floor. And the last step to replace the model is just to bring our character model and place him in our character. child him to the player character. So there's the player, there's our character model. And now the model is going to follow. See, the model is following. We can still see the original character model, so we can remove the mesh render from that. I can even do this in play mode. There's a cube, which is the visor. Just turn off that mesh renderer. And the capsule has a mesh renderer. Turn that off as well. And now he's a little guy moving through this world. No animation, but you can get an idea of what your character is going to look like if you have a character ready to go. So I just been doing a little bit of setup, exporting some extra assets from Blender. The rest of the traps don't really need much explanation, but in the notes I have gone through all of the inspector properties and what they do. So any of the bounce platform, the fall platform, the movable obstacle, movable wall, and pendulum. And bringing them into the world, we just use our obstacle pack prefabs and put them where we want. So if I want a line of pendulums, I just grab my pendulum down here and bring it into my world.
Menos mal que hace una semana pasé todo lo que tenía de Teru, lo pasé a un exchange, porque si no lo hubiese perdido todo. Cago en la puta. Qué desgraciado que soy. Y a saber cuánto cuesta, yo creo que no me compensa, más es chino este ordenador. Yo por lo menos tengo una torre en casa ahora. Y por lo menos avisado. Pero vamos, me lo puta mierda. Fue a raíz de Game Design, no vuelvo a cogerla más. Funcionaba perfectamente y de repente se empezó a poner así. Yo creo que es la placa base. Lo de tener que llegar a arreglar. Yo creo que llevarle una mochila, que no debería, pero de tanto movimiento. Una pena porque al final la compré hace 2 años. Era de segunda mano, sí. Es buen portátil. Chino, pero But I think probably in a way the camera. Can you stop the go to camera? Did you add some script to the camera? But did you import the camera? Yeah, but now the video did not.
Have a look on mine later, please.
Yep.
If you try to play without camera, without the camera from the package, with your own camera.
I don't know. But it's asking people.
We are not experts. Son unos cotillas este helado de mucho
Yep.
cuidado.
Do you know why when I press play, it's just
No te dejan pegadear ninguna. Sí, no, y si te ponen así, si te ponen así a ver y dices, oye, ¿qué es eso?
Yeah, that's the old character controller, so we're using a new character controller from the obstacle pack.
yeah.
So we're not using that character
No,
controller.
I'm just following like the last lesson.
Oh,
Just
okay.
following.
Oh yeah, well then it's a quirk and kind of a glitch with it. I cannot fix it.
All right.
It's basically the camera and the player trying to resolve themselves.
All
The
right.
only way I know how to fix it is to literally
¿Sabes qué marca es
delete
teclas?
and then go back
Teclas.
and re-import this thing again.
Teclas. ¿Sabes qué marca es? Teclas. De ordenador. Es una puta mierda.
And then just
Digo yo,
bring
bueno,
it
eso-
back.
Eso y un Chewy. La verdad que tuve 3 ordenadores chinos ya. Creo que igual me tengo que pasar a un...
And then
a
it
un
won't
Asus
be
o así,
spinning.
alguna marca mejor.
But we have a much more stable character
Yeah.
controller, so we're going to use that
Sí,
instead.
bueno, hombre, pero
Right.
Now, it won't spin,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Chewy es
Thank you
una...
very much.
Chewy, guau, qué asco de portátil. Claro, no, por eso digo que igual me tengo que comprar algo con más renombre. Estoy viendo aquí.
okay, guys, I've just been messing about with this, setting a bunch of traps in a line. I'm trying to be a little bit creative. I should set up another kill zone underneath here.
Me complica casi nada. Gordon, what did you know? Ah, no. No, Gordon. Yeah, but now it's going slowly. Yeah, now it's better. Not too much. You can play, and it's fun.
How do you make them spin? I can make them spin.
What spin?
The spinners?
These?
No, the other ones. The one that are spinning.
Rotator.
Yeah.
They're just drag rotator from here. script should be on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So straight away I've got some pendulum problems. Oh, and I've run out of colliders. Collider problems. Great. But you can see my pendulums are swinging this ways. I probably need to rotate them to get them to swing the right way. E. Rotation. Oh, maybe not. Maybe leave play mode before I do anything like that. Okay, so you can see pendulums are here. If they collide with me, they'll bounce me away. If I select this biggest one at the back, you can see I can play with the limit, the angle limit. That's in radians, so 75 degrees is the limit. If I bring that up to 180, see a much bigger swing of that pendulum. And I can bring it all the way to 360, and I'll go all the way around. So it's a two-part device, this pendulum. You see there's a script for the movement, the limit, the random start. On the ball, there is the bounce script. This has the force to send you back and a stun time, so you actually cannot move your character. You're frozen for half a second. Poison, stun. If I increase that stun time, let's say to 5, now I'm going to be frozen for 5 seconds. That leaves the player vulnerable to any kind of thing to happen. I point this out because this is a script you could use again and again if you want to add some kind of enemy in here, a stun or a kill zone script. You could use that for your own purpose. But now you'll see the two little ones. They hit me, but I can still move pretty fast afterwards. Oof. Big whammer. Bam. I'm stuck. I cannot move for 5 seconds. That's a whole frustrating moment where you want to be able to move. Yeah, so you can have different obstacles have different effects. Maybe one's like, oh, you've been poisoned. You can't move for 5 seconds, leaving you vulnerable to fall off or get hit by physics. Onward. And now I really can't get hit by this thing or I'll never get to the end of the level. These movable walls. Again, they're moving back and forth. I can select each individual one and play with its movable object script. How far it's going to travel, the speed it travels at. And they're all moving at the same speed right now, so they're all moving together. Easy to predict. If you want to shake up that pattern, start adjusting the speed or the offset. So I just change the offset here by 2 on the second blue one, by 4 on the third one, by 6 on this last one, and by 8. You've got it. You've figured out my system. 8. So I'm offsetting each one. I leave play now. Oh. And I realize this happens on start, so it's not going to work live. 2. So offset its start position and we get kind of a fan. Harder to predict when you're able to run across it. Just grab this character and leap him further in time. Oh, I just moved the character and I didn't move the other. Okay, never mind. Oh well, I screwed it. No, the camera's dynamic and should move, but I only moved the character model and not the player, so that was my issue. Anyway, so offsetting the position, that's good for that. Pendulums as well are using rotator and the bounce script. Oh, I'm gone. So again, you can have them stun someone, you can increase the force, and the rotator just controls the speed. And we're pointing out that this rotator script, you put it on any object in your game, it will start spinning. So here is the script right here. If I want, for whatever reason, this entire platform to spin, I can just drop the rotator script on it. And now we have a rotating platform. So any object you put that script on, these scripts are like spells. You can put them on anything. Anything you want to add the bounce to, you want to add stun to another object, just use the script and put it on. Same with the movable object script that we're using for these movable walls. You can put that on anything in your game and it will start moving. So moving platforms, use the script to your own advantage. Now, have I made it impossible to play the game? Possibly. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Chaos. And now that I have this movable wall, it's going to be even harder to get onto this destroying bridge. Oh, I'm on. And after a second, the ground is gone. Timing on that, or the inspector properties, are obviously the amount of time it takes before it disappears. This is just a modification I made myself. It's pendulums, but with a load of kill boxes stuck in them. If it touches you, you die. Just think about how you can combine what you have already to make something new. Oh, and it didn't kill me. Whatever. And then lastly, you ever heard of a salmon ladder? Anyone know what a salmon ladder is? What? Game design students don't know what a salmon ladder is?
Salmon?
Salmon. Do you know what a salmon is?
I know what salmon.
What is it?
Salmos?
It's a fish. Yeah. Salmon ladder is how they get upstream, the sequence of pools they jump up through. So this, I've created kind of a salmon ladder with seesaws. Oh, I can go down, I can go up, and use it as a ladder. You can make it even harder than this. You could have more of these rigid body spheres falling down to make it even more chaotic. But the point is, you're using your weight to get higher. Reach higher places. So a slight physics puzzle. I call it the salmon ladder. So think about the ways you can use these assets. I won! The end of the game. Wow. And there's an obstacle course I made in 15 minutes. Imagine what you can do in 2.5 weeks. Hey? 15 minutes and it's all recorded. You can see my process. I will, yes.